This one Bible verse really spoke to me about Nick and how he inspires others. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Nick, I know we will miss you very much, and I know that you and Caitlin will continue to influence people as you go to Manitoulin. I'll end in a verse, Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint.
Very good.
Thank you. It is all about me, you're right. No, Gray and I have a presentation for Nick, and it's not anything in a bottle, so don't worry. I actually first noticed Nick about 2 years ago. I was dropping Annabelle off at youth, and he was just sitting kind of by himself in the foyer downstairs, and I thought, oh, that poor little boy. He doesn't know where he's supposed to be. And I tried to get Annabelle to go and touch it, and she said, Mom, that's intern Nick. What? He looks like he's in grade 9. First impressions aren't always the lasting impressions. And so as a parent and a sponsor, Nick, I would like to thank you for your care and your passion for the youth, and just the effort that you put in. The retreat to Montreal was my first experience out on the retreat, and it ran wonderfully. Gray especially had a great time on the ride home, and I thank you for that. What I hold a great deal of respect for, Nick, in you is that you managed somehow to convince the church to allow you to shoot children with a Nerf gun repeatedly, over and over again. And as a parent and a sponsor, I can appreciate that. And I don't know how you did it. Maybe they didn't quite understand what you meant when you said you wanted to have a Nerf night. But anyway, in that vein, Ray and I would like to present Nick Bateman, a man who dared to dream. As an unassuming intern, he dreamt of bringing junior youth into a place of lavish worship, where they could come together through intentional community, and he could provide a platform where he and sponsors could demonstrate faithful service, encourage youth to practice effective outreach, and ultimately lead them into radical discipleship. That dream became reality, and that reality is Nick's Nerf Night. So Nick, if you would come up, Grayson would like to bestow upon intern Nick, go ahead, take it in, the Golden Nerf. In honor of the man, the dream, the legend.
Lucky. Well, I knew Nick was saying goodbye tonight, and I basically forced myself onto this schedule because I really wanted to take a few minutes to honor Nick and tell you all about how I perceive Nick and my respect for him. And I just wanted to tell you a few things so that you can understand really how much Nick has put in to this group and how this group has his fingerprints all over it in a good way. So I think one of the best parts about working with Nick is that I feel like maybe he's an intern, so he has to put up with me, but I feel like he does put up with me. And a lot has already been said about Nick's Nerf night, but I feel like it's really Nick's Nerf life, because I just felt like there were a lot of times when the inner child in me wanted to shoot around the Nerf guns in the office, and Nick was often the target. And so we put up with that. Or when I would just get, I have a hard time sometimes focusing on tasks. I would just come and plop down in a chair in the intern's office and just start talking. And Nick turned and listened and was kind, though I'm sure he was stressed about all he had to accomplish. He always listened to me. And I just think it takes a particularly strong kind of man who's able to be an intern under both Joey and myself. To have to deal with that day in, day out is really something special. And he's the only one who's ever done it. The only one who probably could do it. So I just appreciate that. But Nick and I, honestly, the best memories I think that we have that I've had in the office is honestly when we've gone, okay, the retreat's in 3 weeks, we better get this thing nailed down. And we would have afternoon sessions just planning stuff out, and the creativity would go, and the whiteboard would get going, and we would chart out. We would chart out all kinds of ideas. We would come up with games. We'd ask how we can make it bigger, how we can make it better. And it was a great time. And I think that that time of creating was just really special for he and I as we got to create together. You guys are so distracted by that right now. And I'm trying to pour my love out on Nick. And then lastly, honestly, on some days when we were just beat and exhausted and couldn't focus, we would just declare a half-hour break and we would just sit and drink coffee and talk. And those were really special times where we got to talk about a lot of important things. A few last notes. Nick is just organized and relatively administrative, which means that he is like a rare breed of youth worker who's somehow going to be able to actually hold things together and not let them fall apart. And so he has some skills there that we've really appreciated, honestly, over the years of what he's added to the team here at Met Youth. It hasn't, honestly, he brings strengths that Joey and I never had, and it really made Met Youth something special and something different. I just want to share one thought with you, which is that ministry really can't be measured quantitatively. And so maybe you've had this thought. I've kind of had this thought. I've kind of thought, like we celebrated Joey, wow, 15 years. Oh my gosh, 15. Most some of you haven't been alive that long, right? 15 years, it's unbelievable. And then it's like, oh, he celebrated me like 5 years. Like, it's not as good as 15 years, it was 5 years. Okay, so I got a party. It's like, well, Nick, we all love Nick. Well, obviously we love him a lot, but it's 2 years. But that's not really how you measure ministry. You don't measure ministry with the quantity of time that you've put in. You actually measure ministry in the effect that people have made through the quality of the ministry that they've done. And some of that quality comes through God using ministers. But another part of that quality comes from the heart of the minister, the quality of their ministry. And what I've seen over and over and over and over again is that Nick has always been concerned with relational ministry. He does it in his personal life. He makes sure things at Met Youth revolve around relational ministry. And when his schedule gets busy, the first thing that he's concerned about is how relational ministry might start diminishing in his life. He's always been concerned about actually doing discipleship the way that Jesus wanted, which was to do it alongside people in relationship. And I think that the truth is, Joey put in 15 years, I put in 5, Nick put in 2. But honestly, we honestly don't know the end result of all the ministry that has been put in. And I think Nick's heart has made a lasting impact here, especially in these last few months where I feel like he's really stepped up and done a lot of hard work. And so I just encourage you all to understand that Nick has done something incredibly special here. He's added something to Met Youth that wasn't there before. He put in a lot of hard and creative work, and his fingerprints are all over this group. But this is a man who truly loves people in Jesus' name and wants to have a relationship with them. And so we can't measure the quantity of ministry, but we certainly can celebrate the quality of ministry. And here's a man who has loved all of you and wanted to have a relationship with you to lead you closer to Jesus. So make sure tonight you give him a hug and say goodbye to him, give him a card, make sure you get his Facebook, whatever, so you can stay in contact with him. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hey there, Pastor Joey here.